Okay, so we have our red done, and your red is all dry and the background is all dry. We want to take care of this area here that's white. So we clean our brush out totally. There's no paint at all in my brush. It's just a damp brush we want to use. We want to put it in some water. We're going to pick up our white. Remember, we're taking it from the side. And all we're going to do is fill the area in with white. Okay, just fill that totally in until everything is nice and white in the bear. Now, I realize the canvas is white also, and that's fine. That's what you want. You want a white canvas, but you do want to kind of make him white also, because when we start putting our Christmas lights on it, we want to make sure that we have that nice white background. So again, go over those gray lines that we used to sketch in. You don't really need to have a lot of white on your brush. You're just kind of going around it and filling in those areas the best you can. Here you kind of want to smooth in your brush strokes too. You don't want to see too many brush strokes. I'm just scratching some white. Remember, you want to make sure that all your red is totally dry, because what's going to happen if your red's not dry and you're going to add white to it, you're going to get a nice shade of pink. And although pink is a great color, we don't want pink on our bear. We definitely want him to be a white polar bear. And it's okay if when you're going over it, you go over his little snap that we kind of cut out before. That's okay too. So we'll get the paint in there. And then also in his ears. You want to make that nice and white. Again, you really don't need a lot of white paint. Kind of use your brush until you don't see any white coming off. That's the key, actually. And then we'll do this one. Get that filled in. Great. Now, I do have some white on my brush left over, and I know I have to make that black. So I'm just going to take a little bit of white, not black, I'm sorry, gray. I'm taking some white, and then I want to make some gray on here. So I have white in the middle of my paper plate. I'm just going to touch the corner of my brush again and put a little bit of black on there. Mix those up until I get a nice consistency of gray. Then I'm going to take whatever I have on my brush, and we're going to fill this area in light gray. So we'll fill the whole thing in light gray. Just like that. Okay, he's coming along. So I think our bear definitely needs to have some features on him, like let's say some eyes. He needs a personality, right? So while this is all drying, I'm going to use the other side of my brush, not the side that has the brush on it, but the other side. And all I'm going to do is pick up a little bit of black. I'm going to just take the bottom of the brush, tap it in here. I'm going to come in and decide where you want your eyes. I'm going to put mine a little close. I like to have mine close. And I'm just basically just touching the canvas and moving it around. And those will be the eyes. And then you obviously want to take a paper towel and just clean that black off so you don't get black on your hands or anything. Then make sure your two areas here are white. We're going to pick up our black, and we're just going to kind of come in. And what I kind of do first is I just kind of outline a little bit of a triangle. Kind of like a triangle, but it's not pointed around, a little bit curved. And then I just fill that in with some black. Again, you want to make sure that your area that you're filling in is dry from the white so it doesn't look too gray. And then what you want to do is do the same thing to the other side. to show that he has an inner ear here. Just like this. Okay, and then I definitely want to make a nice little nose for him. So I just come in and I take my brush, move it that way. So I'm taking it and I'm holding it horizontal and I'm just kind of touching it. Okay, then I'm going to turn my brush at an angle, put it that way, and then turn it on an angle this side also. And that is going to be the nose for our bear. Okay, so I'm basically making a triangle. I'm just touching the top and then turning my thing to each of an angle to make your little triangle for the nose. Okay, then you want to clean your brush up. You're going to take your brush after you clean it, and you're going to use the other side just like we did with the eyes. We're going to use the other side, make sure it's clean, and we're going to pick up some white. Okay, we're just going to go in and just add a couple little polka dots, a little dot. You're just kind of touching it and pulling it. And you can decorate this as you see fit. You could put a couple dots on there. You could put as many as you want or as little as you like. You're designing that. And then come to the scarf. Same thing on the scarf. Put as many as you want or as little as you want. You're just quickly picking up some white paint, touching the canvas and pulling it up. And then maybe after every 1 or 2 taps of the brush, you want to reload with some paint. Okay, and then make sure you clean that off so you can continue to paint on here. Okay, all right, so we're looking good. We're almost done, guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our brush and I want to put on here some holly because it's Christmas. So I have green, and all I'm doing is taking some green on my brush, and I am going to do holly. You might want to first try and paint holly on the paper towel before you actually go onto the canvas. Holly's a little tricky. It has a lot of little, think of it more like, we're going to go like this. We're going to take our holly, and it's kind of like that. We're just basically making smiles all different ways to make a holly leaf. There's a lot of little points on it. We're going to go with the holly. We're going to put holly leaf right over here. So all we're going to do is I use the top of the brush. I come in, I put a little line and another little line and another one till I get to that point, and then I'll come back. It's a little weird, holly, the way you do it, but it will come out. Then I'm going to come over here. So think of it like that smile line we're doing almost. And I'm going to just do 2 pieces of holly on mine. If you want to put 3 on yours, that's okay. It depends on how big you're painting it and how wide your band was for your scarf. But we will come in with that and just paint that out. And those are going to be our holly leaves. Like I said, you might want to first try it on a paper plate or a napkin, or even take a pencil and just kind of sketch it out. That's perfectly fine. So I have that, and of course if we have holly leaves, we need some holly. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of red and white on the same brush, and all I'm going to do is blend it in and just make a little bit of a circle on here. And I'm just adding it on there. So it's going to be a little pinkish, but if you use more red, you should be fine. I want that white to kind of show through it too. So now with our bear comes the really fun part. You have to make sure, oh, we have to give him a face, I'm sorry. After we have our, back up, after we have our nose here, we're going to use our brush, okay? And then if we have our brush, all I'm going to do is just come down right from the bottom, and I'm just going to put a straight line down. And if you wanted to, you can use the other side of the brush and maybe add some dots to it if you wanted to. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we want to make sure that everything is dry. Everything has to be dry in this before we go and we do our decoration of our lights. Okay. The red has to be dry, the green, everything has to be totally dry. If it's not dry, put two hands, kind of go like this for about 3 to 5 minutes and make sure it's nice and dry. When you're looking at it, you don't want to see anything glossy on there. You want to make sure everything's nice and dry. So what are we going to do next? We are going to put our lights everywhere. This is totally your imagination. These lights are going to go everywhere. He's totally tangled in the lights. He decorated for the holidays and he is all tangled. So what we're going to do is take our brush. I am going to pick up, just to keep with a festive theme, rather than using black because we use so much black, I'm going to pick up a little bit of green. It's a green light cord. I'm going to come over here, okay? And I am going to make some kind of squiggle with a line. I'm just going to hold it. And if you're out of paint, that is okay. Just pick up some more paint and bring it down. You can make these any way you want. You don't have to necessarily follow my lead on this. But on here, I'm going to have him coming behind his ears. I'm going to have him coming this way and around. He is so tangled with his lights. Come over here, add a little bit, and then I'm going to come back here, add another line. It's going to go back there. And then maybe you're just going to loop around. And come on back down here. So his lights are all tangled. So we have this line. He definitely got tangled in some crazy lights. So now what you could do is you can have fun with this. You could put any colors, you can make colors, you can blend colors, whatever you would like to do. I'm going to first come in with some yellow. And all I'm going to do is, this is the stroke for the light. It's just you're touching where the green is, the wire is, and you're coming in. And you're making that kind of shape, almost like a football. Let's think of a football. Okay? And we're just filling that in. Some can be on this side, and maybe I'll put another yellow one over here. Again, we're kind of outlining a football. And all we're doing is connecting it to the green. That's basically it. And then we'll come over here. And I'll add one over here. Okay, so I have some yellow on the brush. We're going to clean that out. And you know what? I want to actually pick up some red and give them some red lights too. And I'm going to put the lights, I kind of don't put them on the same side all the time. I always change position. So we're going to fill some red in there. Some red lights there. Maybe some red lights over here. Again, the shape is just, think of the outline of a football. We'll fill that in. Okay, I'm going to take some white and put it on my palette and have some fun with this. I'm going to take some white and I'm going to take a little bit of green. And I'm going to blend those colors and get a minty green color. And I'm going to use that color to come back in now and add to my lights. We'll do one over here. I'm going to clean the brush. Then I'm going to come over and grab some more white. And I'm going to add some red to it. And we are going to make a pink color. Remember, you're pulling that white straight from the side, not the middle. So I like that pink color. I'll come in and we will add a pink over here for his lights. And maybe there's There's one over here. Okay. Let's go in again. We'll pick up some white. And we'll pick up some yellow. And now we get more of a pastel color. Or the yellow, a totally different color. And we'll add that to the mix. So have fun with this. Add as many lights as you would like, or as little. It's totally up to you how many lights you want to put on there. I hope you had fun. The last thing that you want to do always is you want to sign your work. So you could take your paintbrush and you could put your name in the bottom right, or if you wanted to, make sure everything's dry, and you could come back and you can use a black Sharpie marker. I'm just going to put my initials on here. And that is it. I hope everybody has a happy holiday. I'll see you next year, and keep on painting. Enjoy. Thanks, guys.